However, there are three laws that the probability function must abide by. You came here as a rookie because you wanted to make it in the harsh world of data science. The odds were stacked against you. The probability of you surviving in this new world were low. But then you started learning new things. The more you learn, the higher are your chances of surviving. Today, you are going to learn what happens to probability when you have new information. Suppose there are two events, A and B, in a sample space. Now let's say we already know that event B has happened. How does it affect our knowledge about the probability of A happening? Let's check out the Venn diagram. If we know that B has already happened, we update the probability of B to 1. That is, B is now a certain event. Now we need to blow up the intersection region of A and B by the same proportion. For example, if P of B equals 0.5 and now we are told that B has already happened, we need to double the intersection area because we have updated the probability of B to 1, i.e. by a factor of 2. And that gives us the new probability of event A happening. So the conditional probability of event A, given that we know that B has already occurred, is the same as the probability of A computed in the restricted sample space B instead of the original sample space omega. This is written as P of A bar B, read as probability of A given B. Remember the laws of probability. I had told you that there are three laws of probability, but I had taught you only two of them. There is a third law, but you are not going to learn that yet. You must have patience with your teacher. There is some other knowledge that you need to master before you can learn the third law of probability. Now you are ready to learn the third law. It is called the multiplication law. I have just explained that when you know that event B has already happened, we scale up the intersection region to reflect the same fact, and that gives us the conditional probability of A. Formally, we can write it as P of A given B equals P of A intersection B by P of B, or P of A intersection B is equal to P of A given B into P of B. Now you can also guess what happens to probability of B if you know that event A has happened. So the above law can be written as P of A intersection B equals P of B given A into P of A. If A and B have no intersection, that is, they are disjoint, then P of A given B equals 0. That is, if B has already happened, then it is impossible that A could also happen. They are also called mutually exclusive events. Now let's look at some examples. Suppose there is a class for teaching probability that is attended by both data scientists and engineers. The breakdown by the gender is given in this table. Suppose you are given that a student in this class is female. What is the probability that she is a data scientist? Let's say event A equals student is a data scientist, B equals student is a female. You are asked to calculate P of A given B. Now there are 80 students in total and 30 of them are female, so the probability of a student being female, i.e. P of B, is 30 by 80. There are 20 female data scientists, so P of A intersection B equals 20 by 80. So P of A given B equals P of A intersection B by P of B, that's 20 by 30, that equals 0.667. Now, what is the probability of a student being a data scientist in general? there are 60 data scientists, so P of A equals 60 by 80, that equals 0.75. Notice that P of A given B is less than P of A alone. So it is not necessary that new information always increases the probability of an event. As you can see, in engineering, the ratio of male to female is 1:1, but among data scientists, the ratio is 2:1. So if you are given that a student is female, the probability of a student being data scientist is slightly lowered. Suppose there is an urn with 6 black balls and 8 red balls. A ball is picked at random. If the ball is black, the ball is returned to the urn and another 3 black balls are added. If it is red, the chosen ball and an additional 2 balls are removed from the urn, both red. Now the second ball is picked. What is the probability that the ball is red? So let B1 denote the event that the first ball is black and R1 denote the event that the first ball is red. Let R2 be the event that the second ball is red. We are asked to calculate the probability of first ball is black and second ball is red, or first ball is red and second ball is red. It can be written as P of B1 intersection R2 plus P of R1 intersection R2. From multiplication law, this is equal to P of R2 given B1 into P of B1 plus P of R2 given R1 into P of R1. Initially there are 14 balls, of which 6 are black and 8 are red. So P of B1 equals 6 by 14 and P of R1 equals 8 by 14. If a black ball is picked first, then there are 14 plus 3 equals 17 balls in the urn, of which 9 are black and 8 are red. So P of R2 given B1 equals 8 by 17. If the red ball is picked first, then there are 14 minus 1 minus 2 equals 11 balls in the urn, of which 6 are black and 5 are red. So P of R2 given R1 equals 5 by 11. So the answer is 6 by 14 into 8 by 17 plus 8 by 14 into 5 by 11. You could compute this number in a calculator if you please. Let us say that a couple has 2 children. If you are told that one of the children is a girl, what is the probability that the other child is also a girl? I'll give you 10 seconds to think. You could literally just pause the video, but I'm going to wait for you anyway. You might be tempted to think that since the second child can be either a boy or a girl, the probability is 0.5. The intuition is strong, but let's see. The sample space is GG, BG, GB and BB. Now you are told that one of the children is a girl. So your restricted sample space becomes GG, BG and GB. In this, only one element is favorable to the other child also being a girl, which is GG. So the probability of this event is actually 1 by 3 or 0.33. It's not 0.5. So intuition can get you in trouble on the streets of data science. So watch out. We are one more step closer to the destination, but the saga continues. If you want to continue the journey, subscribe and like. It actually depends on whether you understand statistical independence. So what is statistical independence?